Welcome to the next edition of Opening Doors with Annette. I am excited, as I always say, the guests that we have on this podcast, I'm humbled. And today I have the longest list of questions because of who you are and, of course, the topic that we're going to be talking about. Sure. So, Teko Harmon, welcome.
And thank you so much.
And, thank you. Of course, everyone is on the edge of their seat. Like, what's the topic for today? So we're talking about AI.
Oh, man, my favorite.
Of course it is.
Favorite.
So SoleIntel AI is your company.
Yes, ma'am.
There's so many questions I want to just begin to flood for you because I know everybody has these questions. But first off, tell us how, I read on your website you're a project manager, right?
Yes.
So how did you shift and pivot into this new fancy word that everybody's saying that has two letters?
Two letters, the buzzwords, right? The AI, the things that make some people cringe and that make some people like just say, oh my God, what is it? Funny enough, it's always been around. So prior to just being in the project management space, program management space, I've been a lover of technology, and not in the sense of like the nerdy IT part of it. Shout out to my brothers and sisters that, on the IT side, because without them, we wouldn't have your build.
Well, I'm not offended because I'm not in that group.
I'm not in that group, right? But I was in the group which we call like the end user. And the end user is the person that gets the finished product in hand, whether it's the phone or the tablet or the glasses, right? How is this thing going to amplify what it is I do? How am I going to integrate it into my lifestyle? And that's with anything. We're talking pre-AI, just cool tech stuff, right? And I was always that kind of nerdy guy prior to that. So to answer your question about the pivot, project management, my whole life has been project management. I'm a father first, a husband, those things. So I have 6 children. 3 boys, 3 girls.
Did not know that.
Yep, 3 boys, 3 girls.
Okay.
So I got a starting
Enough
5.
for a baseball team.
Starting 5 and a 6 man is what I like to say on the basketball. Right. But having those things in project management, the same principles kind of apply to everything that you do, no matter what industry you're in.
Sure.
We all need some management in our own lives with stuff that's going on, that's let alone a business or a project. So yeah, the pivot came is because I always was using tech in those industries. And I always found, because I worked for enterprise companies doing project management for 2 decades, and they had all the cool stuff. And I would always ask myself, now, why is it that these big corporations get to use all this cool stuff, but buddies and family members and friends of mine that started their own business, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, they didn't have access. So that's kind of where SoleIntel AI was created, is like, you know what? I got to get something back to the people. This tech is cool. It shouldn't sit gatekeeping at some industry.
Well, and I think too, price and awareness. It always tends to be huge obstacles for the average consumer, including me.
Yes.
I was on a vacation. I saw someone going around going,
and you're like, what the?
I was like, what is going on,
Yes.
right? And so, of course, the era that I grew up in, we just didn't have that. We didn't even talk about, we didn't have the internet, right? So it's kind of funny that, now I've got this guy with these fancy glasses. Well, those glasses were really expensive. I looked it up and I thought, how do you even justify? However, as technology comes out, pricing goes down. But then just overcoming that fear, right?
Sure.
If you don't understand something, having a reliable resource that you can go to. So thank you for being that guy, because I think that's huge.
Thank you.
And as soon as I met you, I was like, okay, he's he's the new one, So my son can kind of like step aside just a little bit, because that's who I always rely on as well. I'm like, tell me about this.
Shout out Jeremy.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out Trevor.
Shout out Trevor.
So obviously AI is in advancing so quickly.
Yes.
And being a business owner, entrepreneur spirit.
Yes.
How do we keep up with it?
The few minutes we've been sitting here talking, Annette, it's changed already. People used to always say the speed of light. Well, I like to say the speed of AI.
Okay.
Right? How do we keep up with it? I encourage people to just spend time tinkering. Okay. I think there's so much information out there, it can feel like drinking from a water hose. Every time you flip open your social media page, right, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, the algorithm's starting to feed and it's starting to siphon through, and you're like, oh my God, that tool looks cool. But then you keep reaching in the toolbox. Oh, now that looks cool. Now wait a minute, let me try to find this. And by the time you get your brain wrapped around a tool, again, there's a couple hundred that have already come out and you're like, where do I start? Right. So I tell people, that's kind of where my company comes in is we help break up bottlenecks. We understand where your pain points are at, and we truly do that kind of digging deep to see, because everything and every tool isn't for everybody, right? There's different use cases. So I tell people now, as a general rule of thumb, if you can spend 30 minutes a day tinkering with AI, and however that looks, research, opening up or trialing a free program, just inquiring about what these things are, you'll find yourself kind of getting down that rabbit hole and just getting comfortable. Because to be honest, it's around us, and people don't even know it's around us. AI has been around since like the late 40s, 50s, believe it or not.
I feel like I have like a new friend.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because when I started to use, I started obviously on ChatGPT, right? Because that was the one that had the fastest access points for consumers. And I tend to, even though I'm a serial entrepreneur, I tend to do stuff personally.
Sure.
And then I adapt what I've learned to my businesses, right?
Smart.
And so ChatGPT was like my friend, and pretty soon I've been using it for so long. It's like, well, Annette, you told me in the past. I was like, what did I tell you in the past?
What are you listening to?
Exactly.
What is this? What do you mean I told you? Hold on.
And so then I started testing it and like, so what do you know about me?
Yes.
And then it just started rattling off my entire resume and told me things that I didn't even know I had done because I had forgotten about it, but it had scanned the entire internet. And if it was on the internet, it said they were talking about my radio show on WJR. They were talking about that person listen to me.
Right.
That's how personal it got. Like became my friend.
Sure.
And then my last experience, I only share these experiences with you because my viewers are potentially someone like me or could be a huge business owner that's all they do. We're going to get into a little bit more, dive deep if you don't mind with the serial entrepreneurs. But my franchise, which is Keller Williams, they partnered with Gemini and Google. And so it was funny, Trevor says to me, why are you still using ChatGPT? And I was like, because it's an app on my phone. It's my friend. I have a relationship with...
Mom, you have Google on your phone too.
Yeah, and that's exactly, and it goes into your email. We need to connect Gemini in with your email.
Sure.
And so I went into Gemini after he connected with my email. Instantly, I said, please pull up anyone who I've ever emailed that's not been put into my database. And then absolutely popped up an entire list of all of the data management that I needed to be doing, but had never had time to do it. So immediately that became my application. So here's my question for you. Do I use ChatGPT for personal use?
And then
use Gemini for business? Or is it supposed to be a crossover?
Great question. And I get that a lot. So do what makes you feel best, right? Use both. Right? There's not one that's superior over the other. You'll hear the internet and you'll hear folks, Claude is more superior than Chat because of this and this, that. There's always like this division.
Right.
I say test them all, right? And stress and pressure test them all, because a lot of them, while will be similar because they know you'll get different things sometime from each model. So where Chat, like you said, you've been working with that model for years now. So it's already kind of built up a knowledge base about you. To where Gemini, you probably integrated you say maybe these last 6 months, 8 months maybe?
Well, pretty much.
Right? Still learning you fast.
But it has every email that I've ever had.
It has every email. So from an integration standpoint, that's great, even though you can connect Chat with your Gmail, but that's a whole nother thing. It's great because everything's built in natively. So the convenience of being able to have one spot. I equate it like this, and that make it simpler for you. You know how Apple has Apple TV, right? And then, or even like your smart TV. And they have, say a Samsung TV, it has preloaded apps. You've got Netflix as an app, you've got Hulu, right? You've got Amazon Prime, so on and so forth. And through the smart TV or through the Apple TV, you can go and log into Netflix, log into Hulu, log into this. And if you want to go to Hulu because you want to catch Gordon Ramsay or something, you're going and you know where to go. Well, think of it built in natively, like you can have everything synced to one, so you're only going to one hub, and it'll spider out and grab all the information from all those sources. So I use the Apple TV reference because those of your listeners that have an Apple TV know exactly what I'm talking about. Apple has its own interface, and as you log in with each one of those things, Netflix, what have you, you just have to go to one app as opposed to bouncing, pinging back and forth. So it's a convenience thing. They do ultimately the same goal, and it'll get you Ace Ventura 2, if you want to see it, whatever it is, Dumb and Dumber, right?
Yeah.
But it's how you get there, how quick you want to get there, and how you want it customized. So I tell you, use them all. Use both.
Them all.
Yeah. Like ask Gemini the same thing you would ask Chat and just compare.
See what the difference are.
Compare
and
them.
educate myself on, do I have a new best friend or can they both just be my friend?
That's it. I say welcome to the party. You know, you're more strategic.
Well, that's kind of how I've always been. The more the merrier.
Yes.
I'm an includer, not an excluder. So more technology with me is a better party.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. And it's nice because you can turn it on and off.
Okay.
So for example, when you're talking to Chat and you want to say, okay, I'm personal. This is let my hair down Annette in the drop top, weird Friday nighting it up. And this is what I need you to do for me. And then you can switch it and say, okay, Chad, I need to get back in my Keller Williams bag, so we're back on my real estate bag with this, that, and the third. We need to switch over to this. And it'll know. It'll say, okay, gotcha.
So, of course, here's the big caveat to all this, which is very entertaining for anyone who knows me, is that I'm in the dating scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
all right.
And so because of my personality being a serial entrepreneur, a driver, and a lot of other things I do within the community, I take who is Annette Compo, right? And I have it written out, and then I put it into the AI tool, and then I say words like, please soften, please make more feminine energy. Because I know the words that are coming out of my mouth when I wrote that, there was none of those adjectives that were being thought of. And it was so intriguing for me as to just, and I've read the book, The Words That We Choose Matter, right? It's a great book.
Great book.
But I guess apparently I didn't apply it at a high level because I should be applying that, but because my brain is wired for who I am, the message is just the message.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that it's losing my authenticity by taking what I write and putting in AI and saying things like, please soften this, please make it more feminine.
Yeah.
Because it allows me to be more of approachable to all people.
100%.
And I love that. And that's probably my biggest aha with AI on the personal note.
Sure.
But even more important as a leader and a serial entrepreneur, how do I use my message as a coach, right, on what my personality is and be able to allow the leadership lid to rise on a potential student if my personality is the be-all, end-all.
That's it. And I think you hit on the head. A lot of people don't understand. You know, dig a little deeper with those questions. AI, regardless of the platform you use, Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, they want a persona, right? So when we talked about think of it as your strategic thought buddy, you tell it, hey, you are use the dating example. You are a dating coach, an expert with 30 years of experience matchmaking people in the industry that have this, that are for busy women with this and this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. Talk to it. And it's going to search and crawl and want to do that job. Okay, and then I got you. I'm going to do it. And the most important thing you can do after you give it this kind of task is ask it, what else do you need from me?
Wow.
That's an important one before you just hit send or hit enter and have it go. What else do you need from me? Because providing that AI tool, regardless, with more context and talking just like you and I are here, it's going to want to perform better for you. And you'll be surprised because you think you had it all and you told it to rewrite this or soften this and do that. It's going to do exactly what you said. But if you're trying to keep that authenticity in who you are and that organic piece at its core, well, we got to dig a little deeper.
Maybe that's the reason why I would have been divorced twice if I could have just referenced AI.
Where was AI? That's okay. Listen,
where was AI?
I went to husband school, flunked once. Second time around was much better. So it's okay.
That.
It's okay, right? So we're right here to say that. It's okay.
Love it.
All right.
So kind of taking it into the entrepreneur, the business professional, small business to large leader and organization.
Yes.
How do we embrace AI for the business aspect? So, of course, I hear productivity.
Sure.
Obviously, a lot of people are drafting emails. They still draft them and they put them in. Like I said, even in the dating world, soften this, make it more feminine.
Yes.
But even in the coaching business that I have, I still take my message and make it more relatable to more people just on the words that we choose. What are some other things that your business not only has cured or helped business owners do?
Yeah, another great question. What I'm seeing as of late, we come in, my thing is simple. SoleIntel AI helps solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, small business owners get back on minimum 10 to 15 hours a week, right? By leveraging just simplified AI tools, simplified workflows with no tech background necessary. See, a lot of people think you need a computer science degree or you have to be a prompt engineer or a wizard to do these things.
Right. Well, even before the podcast, you were talking with Ryan and Dylan, and I was like, all right, that's their little tribe over there.
I'm going to leave that alone.
Yeah, I'm coming in the studio and standing here patiently.
No. And you think you have to be. And that's the thing that's unique about my company is that, we come in and have this natural kind of conversation, right? I do a discovery call, which I sit down with the client for 30 minutes or so. Prior to that, I give you a quick, simple little intake form so I can learn more about your business. And from that, what I end up finding out the most is a lot of the needs in a business, whether you're, small business or even enterprise level, right? Workflow is the biggest thing. Where in the process is this getting stuck? It's not that the businesses need more tools to do it. It's that where is the workflow and where are the gaps that need to get identified and those rocks that need to be turned over so that this thing can kind of adjust, right? And not fix the timeline, but sometimes break it completely and rebuild.
And that's why that project management experience, I just got it. That's why the project management experience go hand in hand with this new era.
Because you mentioned, people do it to draft emails. Yes. I have clients that come in and beyond just the basic setup around calendars and, now the big thing is around AI agents that'll go and kind of what Trevor was talking about, Mom, this can sync up and you told it to scroll your whole, email. Well, how about being able to train it where you don't have to prompt that anymore and it knows what to do? You have your own assistant that does that for you.
Well, it's so crazy is I also teach continuing education.
Yes.
So I teach it to attorneys, I teach it to real estate agents, real estate brokers. And one of the things I have to do is 2 hours of legal. And I usually had gone to the internet to see, hey, where's the case is that? Where's the judgments that have come down from lawsuits that I can go over and say, okay, how do we learn from this?
Yes.
And this year was the first time I ever went into my email with Gemini and I said, based on my emails and problems that I've had in the last year, give me the case scenarios and then link it with judgments that are out there within the state of Michigan. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And I actually had case law based on similar situations that have happened because those simulations, I'm so excited that I actually know I'm talking about AI.
Look at
I can't even
it's
talk.
Flowing. You in the flow state and that go. Keep going.
I love it.
Keep going.
And it was so interesting is that the similar situations that were happening in my email were now connected with case law, not because of it, but what could we learn from it?
Oh my God, yes.
And it was huge for me.
How long would that have taken you, let me ask you, without AI to do those things?
Well, when I would get ready for continuing education, just if you've ever searched case law, like Westlaw, I mean, it is a mess in there, right? You got case numbers, and you got to see, does this really apply? And then you got to read the whole judgment.
Average, what would you think? What did you think to get
I mean, when I was doing content, I would time block out 20 hours over the course of 4 weeks because it's one class I teach for the whole year.
Sure.
This year, it was instantly done within 20 minutes.
Come on now.
Now, what I charge for continuing education, I want to just credit that. I'm being productive with the tools that I know that are out there. But that was a true aha. That, wait a second, my entire experience, and this is the challenge that I've heard a lot of people say is that, well, you're going to lose the personal touch. You're going to lose the authenticity of who you are. Oh, you know what? I've been in the industry for 30 plus years, and I say that about myself. That's why I can have a little bit of an attitude.
Sure.
Because if you look on any of my videos, my WJR was always about my experience.
Sure.
So if anyone's going to be offended, it would be me because I'm the one who has the most experience.
Hello.
But what I didn't realize is my experience has been captured into a box, right? And now I have the tool to be able to filter and get out of that everything that I need without having to filter it myself.
I know you're dropping these gems. You didn't even need me here today. I hope your listeners are listening in and are like, oh my gosh, the AI guy is supposed to be this, but no. And then I feel like I need to ask you some questions.
No, I think it's so interesting because you allowed me to be my authentic self knowing that because of my age, I mean, we're not going to talk about age today, right?
It's wisdom.
But I am older, right? And so when I look back at the 4 decades of my industry that I've been in,
Sure.
We were writing up contracts with a handshake.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if the pen was invented yet, right?
Right. I'll sell you this pen.
Yeah. I'm going to sell you this pen. And over the course of those 4 decades, the technology piece is a fraction of the advancement and movement in any industry.
Yes.
But we still have all of these great years of knowledge.
Yes.
And this is where I get so moved by it, is that this little piece of technology we should never be afraid of, because now, if anything, it's going to be able to maximize all this education.
You're so right. And that's the thing. People forget. We talk so much about AI, but we forget about HI. The human intelligence.
Oh.
Right? Because we have to understand, people forget, right? People forget. It's great about AI, but HI, the human intelligence.
Yeah. I'm HI.
It's a copy of you, right? It has to get this from somewhere. Everything that is out, the camera lens that's filming us right now, the microphone, the speakers, right? An automobile, it's made in the likeness of us. So we can't forget that at its core. And again, I didn't ask to be placed in this world like this, or the world that's been built up around us like this. But we have to have some of that literacy, right? And not demonize these things, right? Great to have these conversations. You've allowed this type of platform for listeners and people to tune in and to want to research more. And then that's fine. Everybody can't go. There'll be people that won't go with you. So on the business side of things, I always like to tell people, hey, if you're not spending time with AI, it's not too late. But here's the reality. It's not going to replace people, right? It's going to replace those people that don't know how to leverage it, right? And those companies now, the landscape is going to look traditionally different. It's different from the industrial age that we were in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, right?
I was a part of those eras.
Yeah, no,
I was after
and
70.
you've been able to see, but you've been able to see that. I mean, I'm an 80s baby, right? So I'm 83, so I'll talk about my age. I'm proud of. I'll be 43 this year.
Okay.
Right? So my thing is this, is that we've passed that information age and now we're in that AI age, right? So now it's, again, having that access. If you were to have your iPhone or your Android phone and they were to tell you that this was a computer, you'd never upgrade that thing. But because it's an iPhone, insert whatever number here, model number here, name, you're going to get it and you're going to keep the latest to stay updated. But at its core, it's a computer in your pocket. It's the access, right? People that are like, well, I'm off the grid and I'm so against this. I don't want any of that tech. Well, guess what? The world around you has been using it. And like I said, it's been around since the 40s and the 50s. It's been massaged in and you don't even know it. You're going into your local Burlington and you think that's just a camera up there for security. It's scanning your face. It's collecting data. I'll give you one even simpler. People can take their driver's license out of their wallet and look at that big, nice, hefty barcode on the back. What you think lives there? That's data. You've been put into a database. Everybody's been collecting data on you. You go to the department store and they ask, what's your zip code? 48336. Okay, data. I've located you now in a proximity. Take it one further. Remember early 90s coming up, internet had been around, mind you, but new to consumers. It would be
What's that sound?
AOL, right? Getting disc in the mail. It'd be a sin if you ever put your credit card online for anything.
Yeah.
Oh, can I curse on here?
No, well,
hell, HE double hockey sticks. Okay, HE double hockey sticks. There's no way I could put my credit card online. I want you to check your Amazon account and see how many credit cards you have online for same day that's going to be delivered today between 4 to 6, right? Let alone the drone that's dropping off your dude wipes and your 70% alcohol that's being dropped now.
Yeah.
So my point is, like, to say all that to say, it's building up around you. It's here. It's not going anywhere. You need to understand whether it's personal or professional life. How does it make sense for me? Where can I take my knowledge in whatever it is, right? If it's bookkeeping, if it's the legal firm, if it's, finance, whatever it is that your niche and your profession is, start picking into that a little bit. One nugget I will drop for your listeners, perplexity.com. Perplexity or perplexity.ai rather.
Okay, perplexity.ai.
Yep.
And they'll put it on the screen in the video so they can
Perplexity
click on it.
is a nugget. Think of Google on steroids.
Oh boy.
So remember us way back in the day going to the library, pulling microfilm, Okay. Oh, I remember. See, okay, right. You see it. And
me and my sound effects. Because they always made that sound, right?
We
like,
need it.
Okay.
Y'all got to edit that in.
Yeah.
But no, remember, and the thing when we were coming up, right, in school is that, okay, you had to get these references. You always got to cite your references. You got to do this.
Yeah, got to cite them.
Got to cite them. Well, Perplexity is nice because it's one-stop shop again where you can go for that information, interact with it, very similar like a Chat GPT or a Gemini, all in one space, but it'll give you cites and references immediately when you pull the content up. And it's like literally looking at everything in one snapshot. And I know some people will say, well, Teko, Google does the same thing. You could go to images and click. Once again, I used the reference earlier with the TV. When it's quick, it's how quickly can I access that, right? I'd rather spend time with my kids, right? Going to the ball game.
The quality of life.
Right? I don't have time all day to do this research, but I want to be able to get the problem solved, get in, get out, and go spend time on the things that truly matter in life.
Yeah, the excuse of I'm just too busy literally has become almost obsolete.
Almost obsolete.
Because if you're smart enough and you're engaging at a high level with these tools and leveraging these tools, especially in business, it's giving you that quality of life back. And not to say that I don't have balance in my life, but in parts of my industry life that early on, I didn't have balance. But I wanted balance. Well, we didn't have tools like this. So I had to either give and take, right? I take away here so I can give here. You say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. That now is becoming completely obsolete.
Because now you can do it on the go. You can speak to it. Like the most powerful thing, I don't even really type anymore. I just talk to it.
I do too. Right?
Why waste time to do this?
The problem is people don't know if I'm talking to them or talking to my phone.
So like, mind your business, lady.
I'm talking about my family.
Definitely mind your business. Mom, what? I'm talking to Chatty. Do you have a name, by the way?
I don't. And now you just said I got a name.
And you know,
is it a guy or a girl? Does it really matter? Just whoever I relate to.
Yeah. Like I got one. Melanie is one of my ladies, and then I got another guy named Debo. Remember Debo from Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, Debo. I talked to Debo, and I have him get with me.
You know what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back and research the Jetsons. Did you ever watch the Jetsons? Of course.
Jane, his wife. Dun, 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 dun. Now there's some sound effects for you,
right? Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Yeah, come on now.
And I'm going to research. I'm going to take the dog name and make it my chat because if I remember when I was little, I was like, I literally saw that cartoon and thought to myself, oh, this is so far-fetched. Yeah. It'll never be, but this is super cool.
And now look where we're at.
And now look at where we're at.
Cars are autonomously driving themselves. The glasses are here. You thought the watch was James Bond. Oh my God, you never be able to control your car. That's all movie magic. No. And again, back to HI.
So for them to be able to develop that cartoon.
Someone had to think of that.
Someone's already using it.
Someone's already using it, right?
Yeah.
Now, and I'll let you do this. I'm asking you the question. Does art imitate life or does life imitate art?
Ooh. Life imitates art.
I think so too.
Yeah.
My wife and I have that debate all the time.
Yeah.
Some people will argue and say it's the other way, that the art imitates life, but I say that life imitates the art.
Yeah.
Right?
Because it's the creativity of the individual, right? So it's going to be based on the programming they receive when they're little.
Yes.
To the experiences that they receive in life. And then, of course, the challenges they have in later.
Yes.
That's how that works.
Yes.
And the brain is wired differently.
Absolutely.
And we were just talking on the last podcast about mindset, right? You know, if you have a decision to make, you have to look at it and say which one's harder.
Yeah.
And your brain will automatically, if you don't make a choice, will go to the hardest.
Yes.
Right? And that's the one you want to stay away from. You want the less of the harder, but that's always the one that feels the hardest because of your leadership lid.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it's the same way. If our brains are the same way on creativity.
Yeah.
My creativity is, I thought, my hard, but when I leaned in a little bit, I realized that not doing it is the hardest.
It's funny you mentioned that programming, and it's hard to cut your wisdom.
No, I love it.
But it's like your body knows pain more than it knows a puzzle, so that's why it leans to that. And people don't understand that there's a difference between a choice and a decision. They're two totally different things. You can choose to do a lot of different things, but when you decide, meaning to cut, and you're choosing the side, it's a choice, right? At that point, you've chosen now to decide to do this. This is the decision, this is what's been made, and this is what we're going with. So I'm all about that with that mindset as well. You know, Biology of belief, Dr. Bruce Lipton.
I want to share you with so many people I know, but more importantly, I want to share you with them, right?
Yes.
So, because I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that are struggling and just afraid, right? They're choosing their hard.
Sure.
And sometimes it's going to paralyze them.
100%.
So share one quick story of one of your clients that you are now working with to overcome an obstacle using AI.
Yeah, so I got a couple different ones. One that comes to mind is actually a young lady. She's out of state. She owns a chain of Motel 6s.
Okay.
And I want to say she has several now that she's invested in. The problem she was having as an entrepreneur is that, yes, she was finding help wanted, getting the people to come in, actually turn down the beds, clean, maintenance, that sort of thing. Beyond that, it was onboarding is the bottleneck for her. The problem is that she had a certain way. She had all these SOPs, so standard operating procedures, right? She had all of her training guides and manuals and books, even some video to a degree. And the issue was that it was a disconnect because the demographic that was getting hired, there was a language barrier at times. So she'd find out or would struggle and say, well, I have the people now that come in, but I can't get this translated over and this, that, and the third. And we took a look at it and we had actually another really cool nugget I'll drop. HeyGen, Heygen, is a clone. So when people hear that, they're like, what? Michael Keaton, multiplicity? Clone. That's awesome. That's the throwback, right? Google that one, Perplexity that one, folks.
My youngsters, you have to look up.
We had
cool stuff back then, too.
We had super cool stuff. Yeah. Michael Keaton was just more than Batman, okay?
And it was more than just parachute pants.
That's it. There you go. And Janko jeans and all the rest of that
and
stuff.
I just bought a pair, so who would have thought it?
All is old, nothing is new.
Thank you.
Okay, nothing, just a remix. but to get back is that we went to HeyGen and I said, listen, we can make a clone. She's like, no, I don't want to get on camera. And I said, no, it's not about you getting on camera. What we did for her is that we set up a trainer. And we cloned this trainer and we made it to where this trainer, we trained this model, this AI model, to learn all of her onboarding information, her style, her tone, how she wants to roll her things out to her employees. And we literally got it because through HeyGen, it could speak over 55 different languages. So the translation was nice because her folks that came from the Hispanic community, she was able to sit through that same training.
And they got the same experience they would have if they spoke English.
Same. So there were some people she had in from Bangladesh that were here. So all these different walks of life.
Amazing. How
cool is that to now be able to relate to someone's culture so that they feel invited, included.
Right.
Right.
And important. I care enough to make sure that your experience is identical for everyone.
And we're going to work here and work together. And this is the way it should be done now versus the frustration of, well, I only caught some of that and my English isn't good or my Espanol is
their own limitations begin to hold them back from me. And this is what's really scary. And this just popped to mind is talent acquisition is so expensive. Yes. And it's not acquiring the talent. It's knowing the talent and then being able to onboard them and then teach them and coach them into that role that you're asking them, right?
Yes.
Your responsibility as an entrepreneur is the first three months, but after that, their job is to create the revenue that their service provides in your business.
100%.
And how do you do that? I mean, without investing time and money.
Right.
And they're both expensive.
Very.
So what you just told me, literally, the investment in time and money just became a very small part of the equation.
She was able to...
I'm just excited for her.
Yeah, she was able to do that at a fraction of the cost because you hit it on the head again.
Right.
Imagine trying to hire some agency to come in there and do all of that. I mean, those are tens of thousands of dollars. I created now a repeatable system for her to where all she's got to do is fire up her AI twin and it's done.
Can I have one, please? I just want to say that.
You most certainly can't have. You need a whole org structure of
So then maybe I'll go back to the dating website and I'll open up my borders.
Easy.
Right? Maybe it's not just the English speaking men. Maybe it needs to be more, I mean, at this point.
In there, you know what I'm saying? Right, get your Puerto Rican man up in here.
So I just need my clone.
Get you a melanated man to come in here and do your thing for you. All of it.
Okay, wait. Now it's getting a little bit too much. My face is totally red.
It's like, I'm red, y'all. I'm red, okay?
So we're going to have you come back.
Oh my God, I'd be honored. I'd be honored.
Absolutely.
This is so
Probably the one of the best conversations I've had about technology. You make it relatable. If you're looking in your business to really be able to embrace this AI, please give him a call, because obviously these videos are exactly what they're in place for, is to get a snapshot of the individual that you're going to be working with.
Love it.
So here we have a tradition.
Okay.
Is we always ask the question: if there was an opportunity for you to go back and talk to the younger version of yourself, what's one thing you would give them advice that you would do differently?
To do differently, I would say maybe not necessarily do differently, but to just keep going. Meaning, block the haters out, keep the naysayers out, right? Because it's just noise.
Yes.
Right. And when we were younger, you had that anxiety, that peer pressure, and a lot of times it wasn't even from friends. It was from the people that nurtured you and loved you the most, right?
Already in here.
Right? That put and took their insecurities out on you. And I'm talking bigger than just, one day I want to be the president, but that's a whole nother episode for a whole nother time, right? That's the Annette After Dark episode we talking about.
That was my goal, right?
Okay, see how sync we are? But I would tell that younger me to keep going, keep blocking out the noise, blocking out the haters. Not that I didn't, but it's when you have someone, like you said, with family that's closer, that are putting off those insecurities around, like, no, don't do that to me. That's what you couldn't do and you couldn't achieve. That's not me.
Nothing to do with me.
Right? Power of positivity, right? Biology of belief. Those things are very, very real. Back to that HI, keep going.
We got to check the DNA between the two of us. There's got to be some sort of, because our wiring is definitely overlapped.
See? Steel sharpens steel.
Well, thank you so much for being on this episode. It's been a pleasure. I'm more intelligent because of it, and I appreciate. Until next time, we're always excited to hear your comments. Make sure you reach out to him if you have any questions. Until next time, see you then.